So what's up everybody, welcome back to another little YouTube video here. In today's pretty much YouTube video, I'm just gonna pretty much go through my little price action, uh, my predictions and my overall bias. So let's just dive right into it. As y'all can see, starting off just simply looking at the levels here again, I'll pretty much show you guys a little clip here before we go in of when we actually when I showed you guys these levels and none of these weeks pretty much had printed. So you can see we overall have predicted the high using these levels right here, low right here for the euro, high of the week that was last week's high, low of the week that was last week's low of the week for euro, and high of the week for euro. Now let me just show you the clip where pretty much we anticipated this happening. You expect soon seeing the given lower prices here. So looking at the DXY now, focusing in a little bit more on the DXY, what you will be able to see is that we now more or less have a given data range. And what you also will be able to see is that we now have swept the given data range high, aka the previous yearly high. We have taken out that time-based liquidity and we're moving up towards our IPTA alignment. And the IPTA alignment is at 109.571, which we will later talk about. But you can also notice that we have equal lows in terms of previous yearly low and the previous original consolidation low, in which we will talk about the smaller market maker sell model later. Looking at this, you could also see a higher time frame market maker sell model. So given the confluences of the seasonalities being bearish, so now we are looking at the news events for this current week for the FX. Um, as you'll pretty much will be able to notice is that on Monday we don't necessarily have any high impact news events for the American dollar or Euro USD or any other important currencies. What you will have to take note of, however, is that we have some overall high impact news events for the Swissy at 22.25, but I don't think none of you guys will be able to trade. Just to note once before we dive right into this call that all of this will be from my personal perspective of the markets. Please don't follow this. So let's just dive right into it. So of course Tuesday here, don't think necessarily anything spectacular will happen here either. We have pretty much some established news events, high impact news events. We have of course the Wednesday here, having some more red folder news events, and later that day we have something super important happen at 20:00 and 15:45, which of course is the Bowie monetary policy for the Canadian news, but also or for the Canadian dollar interest rates changes, right? And American dollar interest rate changes. So that's something you got to keep an eye on. Thursday here, I necessarily don't think we will see anything spectacular happening. We might see a little bit of a lower euro. We'll see what ends up happening, aka euro dollar, right? We might see a little bit of a lower euro dollar. And of course, Friday here might overall have nothing real important. We have some news here. Now, what do I think these news events establish for in terms of an weekly overview? Or in terms of like weeks setting in price for runs. So as y'all pretty much note, on Monday we don't necessarily have anything. So what do I think will happen on the Monday? Well, I think we pretty much are to engineer some manipulation prices. Now, we might do two things here on Monday. Either we manipulate upwards, aka reaching higher for the euro, we reach pretty much lower for the DXY, engineering some sell side liquidity for the dollar, and of course buy side liquidity for the euro. And Tuesday just continuing sweeping that, creating the high of the week, and we see Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday going up higher for the dollar, lower for the Euro USD, or other way around, which I think is more probable. This is something I'm going to rely on. Is Monday, Tuesday. This is my bias, right? So this most probable bias for me. Monday, Tuesday, going up higher, pretty much for the dollar, and then the rest of the week going down lower for the dollar. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday going down lower for the dollar, while Monday and Tuesday goes higher for the dollar. Engineering pretty much liquidity and taking sweeping out, reaching out over all throughout the rest of the week. Something I just quickly want to show you guys is just that look at the small money selling the dollar here. So what you will notice is at the 17th of December, we moved down from a bullish to a bearish hedging program. Alright, 17th of December was right here. Now all throughout here, we was in a bullish hedging program, but now we've even started moving down even lower for CFTC report, which just means that this should be a long-term high and we should just continue diving down lower. I shared some sauce in the last call of my overall in-depth analysis, so please just go and check that out. Now it's basically the same thing here, where we have a bullish hedging program, so we are just to anticipate this being a long-term low, which I overall have covered in that something big is happening video, so please go and check that out. Now for the DXY, I'm watching something very much similar to what I talked about during the news events, meaning I'm watching pretty much for us to have an expansionary week towards the downside, we need some engineered liquidity. How we are going to get that engineered liquidity is us engineering it on Monday and Tuesday, aka having those 2 days as manipulation days towards the upside. So if we have Monday and Tuesday going upwards, we should have a large expansionary week towards the downside throughout Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, like we talked about. Now, this may very well not play out, but as you saw, the small money is selling aggressively. That's why we are going to be aggressively bearish with them, or at least I am. Now looking at it, what if we don't do this? So what if we Monday and Tuesday instead go lower? Well, then most possibly Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will go higher, and then next week we'll sell off, if that makes sense. Like the next week, not this week, but the next week after this one. Now, what I think is most possible is just Monday, Tuesday going higher, reaching up, sweeping, buy side liquidity, and then reaching out over all throughout the week. This is what I think is most probable. But stick to your own predictions. So now just quickly looking at the euro here, what you all will pretty much notice is that we should overall start diving up higher throughout the rest of the week, meaning it should be a bullish weekly expansion, looking at it from a weekly chart. However, for us to see that we need it to engineer some sell side liquidity, we need to take that sell side liquidity for us to have that push higher rest of the week on, like we talked about, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So going down to the daily chart, what you all will notice is that we most possibly will go lower on Monday, Tuesday, go lower, possibly engineer some sell side liquidity here, take the sell side liquidity out, and then reach up higher. Now, once again, this is my overall analysis and my overall predictions. Stick to your own overall analysis and predictions. Now, going to an 1 hour time frame, you'll just see this closer. So where I'm predicting the low of the week will be most possibly is this level. So I'm watching this level super closely. So I'm watching Monday going lower, Tuesday settling a low of the week, and of course Thursday reaching up higher, Friday reaching up higher too. Now for indices, I have a little bit of a special here. So overall, what I think possibly might end up happening is same thing as the euro, where we'll most likely engineer some sell side liquidity, and then we're gonna take that sell side liquidity out, and then we're gonna reach for new all-time highs. And as y'all can see, we have the already established equal highs. So we have a super strong drawn liquidity, meaning when we have a super strong drawn liquidity, the further away from that drawn liquidity you're getting for indices, the stronger it will get. The more sell side liquidity you sweep, while you have a stronger drawn liquidity on the opposite side, the higher probability of a trade it will become. Now, hopefully now we'll see some strong time-based liquidity point getting taken out, so potentially previous weekly low, or overall previous daily. So we might engineer equal lows here on the Monday, sweep those equal lows and the previous daily low, and trade up higher from there, reaching for new all-time highs. Now on an overall lower time frame, like an 50-minute chart, that would look something like us reaching down lower, engineering even more equal lows here, so potentially reaching up high here Monday, reaching down, engineering equal lows again, sweeping that on the Tuesday, reaching into OT of a 4-hour range, so potential for OT sweeping in here, and then reaching for new all-time highs, aka drawn liquidity right there.